What if someone you lost who had died returned? This episode of Afterbuzz TV is brought to you by the powerful and riveting new drama, Resurrection. You won't be able to stop watching or talking about it. Resurrection premiering on Sunday night, March 9th at 9/8 Central, only on ABC. You're not going to want to miss it.
Mr. Langston, did your son go missing, sir? I haven't. He's okay.
My son died 32 years ago.
What if someone you lost returned?
Daddy!
Honey, who is it?
Jacob. I'm coming home.
The television series event begins.
You're not the only one, there's others.
Tell the world.
Resurrection. Series premieres Sunday, March 9th on ABC.
You're listening to the Afterbuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The Afterbuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Afterbuzz TV's Teen Wolf After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's Afterbuzz TV's Teen Wolf After Show.
Hello, Afterbuzzers. We're here doing another Afterbuzz TV after show for MTV's Teen Wolf Season 3, Episode 20, Echo House. I'm your host this evening, Kristen Snyder, and joining me, Afterbuzz TV host June Lee.
Hey, everyone.
We have two special guests for you guys this evening. We have Chris Tardieu, stuntman on Teen Wolf, and we also have Gabriel Fleming joining us, who's an editor on Teen Wolf and edited that amazing trailer, that mid-season trailer that we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
But before we get into the episode, Matt and Oriana have something real special to tell you guys.
Hey there, Afterbuzzers. Matt Lieberman here. I just wanted to tell you about a great new show that's coming out on ABC. Got Oriana Leo here with me.
Hey there.
Now, Oriana, I got to ask you, and this is kind of a crazy question. It's a little out there. What if someone you lost, like someone who died, suddenly you open the door and there they are, they're standing there, they're alive, they're well, they're the exact same age they were when they passed away?
Well, I can tell you I actually lost my father 9 years ago, and if he showed up on my doorstep, I would probably lose my mind.
Right?
Yeah, it would blow me away.
Well, imagine a show where the residents of this small town called Arcadia, Missouri, discover that their relatives, their friends, everyone who has passed away is starting to come back to life the same way that they were when they passed.
It sounds like an amazing premise. I want to know more.
Well, it's ABC's new drama, Resurrection. It's from Michelle Fazekas, Tara Butters. They're amazing showrunners. They did CW's Reaper. They were writers on Dollhouse. They're incredible writers, and they've created this show. It starts with this 8-year-old named Jacob who reunites with his parents. They're confused. They're blown away. They don't know how to handle it.
I think I've seen the previews for this. It has Omar Epps.
Omar Epps is in it.
Okay.
Kurtwood Smith is in it. Now, the most amazing thing, he's 8 years old, but he died 32 years earlier.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Creepy.
I know. It's creepy. It's exciting. It asks big questions about the state of what is alive, what is dead, like the best TV show should. It's a powerful drama. It's a riveting drama, and I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it either. And I imagine, the kind of questions that it's going to pose, all of us at home, there's going to be some major conversation around the water cooler the next day.
Right? And it's it's an original premise. It's something we don't normally see. It's not about zombies. It's not about aliens. Or it's nothing we've ever seen before. And I can't even imagine where the story's going to go.
I can't wait to see it. When does it premiere?
It premieres Sunday, March 9th at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Fantastic.
Yes. It's going to be airing on Sundays. I'm excited to see it. I'm actually doing the after show for it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So tune in for that. Sunday, March 9th, 9/8 Central. And now back to your wonderful after show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So now we're going to break it down Teen Wolf. So exciting, so thrilling. This show has no limits.
No.
No,
there's no limits at all.
I mean, because it's supernatural, you know? So it's like, it's so unpredictable. Who would know that we would end up with Stiles committing himself into a mental institution this week?
I don't think anyone. I was surprised when I read it. It was like, what? Okay, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, if you would have given me this episode, especially like last season or, you know, out of order, I would have been like, what? How are we going to get there? You know, it's amazing. And I just want to give a shout out, Lara Webb. She does all the music for the show. This is Naughty Boy, No One's Here to Sleep. And she's just done an amazing job with the music. It's always like something indie, something I can look up on iTunes. And I actually downloaded the song we're going to play later. And I tried to find this one. It's just, I love her and all her music choices.
She's one of the best in the business, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure like she works closely with you in editing, you know, with the music going in with the scene, and it's like once that happens, there's like chemistry, and you can really feel what's going on with the music coming into the scene. And I know we've spoken to you, Chris, before about how music really motivates. Like you guys play it during the stunts and whatnot.
We have, that's correct.
Really?
What kind of during stunts?
I'm highly motivated by music during the stunt scenes. No, obviously we don't have a clue what's going to be in there until after it's all edited together. But it's interesting though.
Yeah.
Like, does she just have this massive library of music inside of her mind and just
basically, I mean,
pulls it out for a certain scene and just tries it and it works or it doesn't?
Yeah. So the music selection process, basically, Laura, she just is, you know, really plugged in, and she knows just everything with, you know, from a certain range of what's new and what's going to be good and what's up and coming. And that's what's really great about her, is that she'll be able to bring us new things that will be big but aren't big yet, that we can afford. So, I mean, that's kind of the key part.
She has a budget as well.
Yeah, she has a budget. But yeah, so she comes in to us, and we have certain scenes, and we're like, we think we need a song. She'll read the script ahead of time. And then she'll say, okay, probably a song here, probably a song here, probably a song here. And then when we put the episode together, we'll know a little bit more closely where there should be songs. And then we go over with, like, we need a song here, we need a song here. And then she'll just come back with a bunch of options, and we'll try them together and then cut them together. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
When you're editing, are you like, yes, this completes the scene?
Yeah. We sit in a room together. We, you know, we'll just kind of play them, and we'll play them against the scene, you know, just lay them in and just play them and be like, oh, does this work? Yeah, no, let's keep looking. And
that sounds like so much fun.
It takes so much talent, I'm sure, to like figure out the right music, much like a casting director, you know, has to find the right actor and actress.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about like the editing process? I know like people don't realize how much time you spend in that cave.
Seriously.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time in that cave. Yeah, it's funny. We're on Teen Wolf. Our editing offices are right on the stages, which is really rare for television or for movies. And it's really fun to be able to just kind of like get out of our cave and go to the set and just bother people.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
They like it for us to be there, and they also hate it for us to be there because then we go behind them and go, I don't know if this is gonna work. And then the directors go, get out of here. But yeah, the process is, so they shoot a scene, and there will be usually 2 cameras going at once, and they'll shoot one side of the scene, and then they'll shoot another side of the scene. They'll shoot close-ups, they'll shoot wide shots, they'll shoot special shots that have, you know, the camera dollying in or to reveal or start a scene. And there will be a lot of footage, and then it'll come into our system. We work on an Avid, which is a video editing system. And the assistants will bring it all in. They'll mark it up. They'll kind of organize it so that we know where everything is and what order it's supposed to go. And then we just get it, and we go, okay, let's make a TV show.
How long does it take to edit like an episode?
It takes, on
average.
We actually, on Teen Wolf, as editors, we do a little bit more than most editors on other shows. So we take usually 3 to 4 weeks to cut together the editor's cut. And then after that, there's the director's cut, which is 4 days. And then there's the producer's cut. And then there's another series of cuts that happen after that. Then there's the composing process. And then there's the sound effects process. And then there's the visual effects process, all of which we because we know the episode best,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of supervise all of that and make sure everything is in line and making sense with the story.
Mm-hmm.
And all in all, I think it takes like 7 weeks or something. It's,
Wow.
I mean,
Per
that's yeah,
episode.
per episode.
Per
yeah.
episode.
So there you go, fans.
Yeah.
They're putting
And there's
in
long hours
blood,
too, I'm sure.
tears.
Yeah, they're pretty long hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have long hours. On the flip side of what he said, I sometimes like to wander in off set and bother those guys. Like,
Yeah.
I know
Yep,
Alyssa, and I
yep.
know Corey, and I know Gabe, and sometimes I poke my head in and take a look at what they're editing, and it lets me see the stuff that we filmed months before.
Right.
And I can see what it looks like when they're done putting it all together.
Because you guys are working at a separate pace. Obviously,
Yeah,
you're doing
absolutely.
work
Yeah.
after he's already done.
Right.
You're coming in and doing
Right.
the work, and then they're ahead. Does it mess you up at all, like being at different rates? Like, because you know that they're shooting ahead of time, and you're like behind in the story.
A little bit, not often though. I mean, my problem is I never read the scripts that are being shot, so I'm just so busy working on my own thing that I'm just kind of like, there's a script that comes in and I'm like, okay, I'll read this over the weekend, and then it never happens, and then
I
I'll
don't
be
read
like,
the
wait,
scripts
what is
either.
that?
They just tell me what to do,
just show
and
up,
they just do
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks amazing, and thank you both for coming in tonight and helping us break down the episode. Let's go ahead and get started. So Stiles puts himself in a mental institution because, you know, he's afraid he has exactly what his mom has, which we don't quite know exactly the severity of what was going on with his mother and how exactly she died. We got a little bit of what her case was when they found her case files, but still, I mean, it was enough that even his father was okay with him doing this as much as he could be, and Scott's like, I don't want you to do this, I can't help you in there, and Stiles, you know, he just doesn't want to hurt any more of his friends. But I really liked that father-son moment whenever Stilinski was like, no, you forgot your pillow, like, you can't stay now, like, we have to go home. It was not about the pillow, obviously. It was about, you know, him not wanting to leave his son and making up any kind of excuse he could think of to not, you know, leave Stiles there. And I can't believe he had to go, you know, without calling anyone for 72 hours. Like, just the terms of that alone, I
Yeah.
can't believe he didn't run out of there immediately. What'd you guys think about that scene? And his pillow, like, has he had that since he was a child? Like, really? I change my pillows every, like, couple months.
Stiles got a lot of quirks.
He does.
You know?
He's a quirky guy. Yeah.
It's disturbing for him to have gone in there, and then it turns out that maybe that 72-hour phone thing wasn't the best policy for him.
Yeah, and then we got that girl later, that Meredith girl, who I'm wondering if she's going to come back, because she was saying they're right behind me.
There's one right behind
Yeah, I
me.
need to tell them the full story, and then we find out the phones weren't even working. So
I reckon
that was,
she's definitely tied in.
I agree.
I hope she comes back. She was
Yeah.
super creepy. She's
Yeah.
an amazing
Yeah.
job.
She has a great look too. She just
Yeah. I would really like to see that character back and see how it's all involved in everybody else.
For sure. I just love how we're constantly changing sets. Like, and you, I mean, what was it like filming? Did you guys go to this location? I heard it was like
Yeah,
a
I
YCM,
went,
an old like
yeah.
YCM building.
It's this huge. I mean, you see the exteriors. That's what it is. It's like this castle in
I know. It's a
LA.
fantastic
Yeah.
shot.
Did you get to go there? Oh no, you saw
I didn't
that.
get to go there.
Yeah.
Wait, which castle is it?
It's not a castle. It's like a. But I mean,
I
it
was gonna
looks
say, we're
like
Making
a
it
castle.
sound very
Yeah.
like glorious, this psych ward.
Well, I was
We all want
surprised,
to
yeah.
go now.
Yeah, let's just have a sleep
Commit
party.
me.
It sounded very European, like a spa or something. I was excited about it,
I don't
actually.
know if it was that nice, but no, I mean that they didn't really, as far as I know, do much dressing of the set. I mean that was kind of
Wow.
it. I mean, most of what you're seeing in that episode was shot on a set on the stages, but just in some of it, you know, the kind of grander shots were all on that location, which were I just wandered over because I heard it was going to be a crazy set. And yes, it was impressive.
It was nice to see. I love when they do these episodes, like the Motel California at the Glen Capri. I mean, I love when they're shooting elsewhere, and it's just nice to get that sort of break from our normal recipe for Teen Wolf. And it's just, I really like when they're so powerful with these standalone episodes, you know, and they introduce so many new characters in this psych ward. We had Oliver, which I totally liked him at first, and I obviously read him wrong because
Yeah, who saw that coming? He was a bit of a nutcase, eh?
Well, he was possessed by the Nogitsune.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't really Oliver.
I mean, I hope he's gonna come back though and like get out of the psych ward and join like the team because he was hilarious, and I feel like we're kind of missing the humor with Stiles being dark this season, right?
He was a really strong actor.
Yeah, I really like him, so hopefully he gets out and can help the pack. I would like a new pack member.
Bring some humor back into the pack.
Absolutely. And my favorite part of the episode was obviously the Malia and Stiles hookup. Like, that's exactly how you get back to being a were-coyote. Like, act like an animal. Right? She misses her fur coat because she's cold or whatever. That shower scene, I was just like, okay, I'm ready for this. I mean, I don't even mind who Stiles hooks up with. It's just like, we love him, and this was Malia's first kiss, and whatever else happened when the lights went down.
Who knows?
Who knows? But she wants to be a were-coyote. So
I was reading.
That's a nice thing.
I was reading some of the comments under the episode, and they were like, I don't think they'll have such fancy bras when they're committed. Like
when they're committed.
One of the commentators were commentating on Malia's fancy bra, and so I was like really excited to see her bra.
Well, that wasn't that fancy of a bra.
I don't even remember her wore their bras. I remember towels.
She was wearing a bra.
It was a gray cotton.
Yeah, it was a pretty plain
with like white lace.
I know. I actually liked. I worked on that scene, so I.
You remember the bra specifically?
No, because I was like,
it
this
wasn't
is good
the childhood
because this
bra
is
like
not
the
a
pillow.
fancy bra. That was why I was like, this is good because she wouldn't have a fancy bra in this environment.
She's an animal. I was expecting like fur. Who knows? They make those.
maybe that's a road that Teen Wolf will go down.
Oh my god!
I hope so. But it's not. I feel like. How'd you guys feel about the relationship? Because he was kind of everyone shipping him with Lydia, but I really liked this fresh girl, and I felt that they had immediate chemistry. I was really into the scene, and of course the music helped.
Right. I don't know.
What do you guys think of their relationship? I feel like they might be dependent on each other in the future. It seems like he can help her figure out the ways of turning back into a were-coyote because that's what she wants, and he can definitely use her help, obviously, and maybe some comforting affection as well.
I think Lydia she'll always will be the girl that Stiles will never.
We're playing the long game with that one.
Yeah, exactly. That seems like they always almost kind of get together, but then they don't.
That's a great point. What do you?
Through the first 3 seasons at least, I think she'll probably always remain that way.
Yeah.
And, Teen Wolf is all about throwing things at you that you're not expecting. So
limitless.
Yeah, Malia.
Unpredictable. So. Also, then we get that really weird scene with the Nogitsune actually being in the basement. So was there a lobotomy and like the drilling of him in that basement? And what was that picture that came out of his pocket? That was like really scary to just see that he was in there, and obviously maybe this is where his dead spirit died, and this is how because Stiles has been having these dreams. Like, what did you guys think about that scene?
Oh, I think we might find out more information about that scene.
We might get a little more. Oh, okay, we have a caller, so I'm going to ask them.
Wow.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you from? Hello, caller. Are you there?
Hi.
Hello? Don't be shy. They may have hung up. Well, guys, don't forget at home, you can call in and ask Gabe and Chris whatever questions dealing with Teen Wolf, of course, you can think of. The number here is 424-256-1729. I'll be reading some of your comments later, but don't be shy. Give us a call. We're live on AfterbuzzTV.com right now. All right.
We don't know much about the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf, and that's going to be fun.
They know everything about that one, so it's fact, whatever we say on here. The more you know. So I really liked that interaction with Stiles and the Nogitsune and him saying, let me out, and him saying, let me in. Like, that was, like, terrifying. So scary. I just can't imagine. And how long has he gone without sleep, and how long can that continue? When I don't get sleep, I'm crazy. Like, commit me to a psycho ward. Like, everyone needs their sleep, for sure. It was just, like, a really dark episode. I just felt like, Do you guys do like the color correction? Are some episodes like darker than others? Because it definitely seems sometimes that way.
I noticed that too. There were a lot more like deeper purple and green and.
Yeah, we do the color correction in the end, but that's mostly the director of photography and the director will work on that together. And they very consciously, I'm sure, wanted to make this a much. Not physically, lighting-wise, darker episode.
The theme, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. I mean, I think it really looks...
is.
Yeah. That's something that we do a lot on Teen Wolf is playing with light and dark and what you can't see, which I think is very brave. It's hard to do on television. You'll see most TV shows are really, really bright. You can see everything.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's hard to, to play with that.
I think nowadays, so it's becoming more and more so like darker and stuff like that. I think it's because so many people watch things on their computers now, and so they want to take more risks taking it darker.
And people want things to look a little more cinematic.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. So we get Malia leaving at the end, and we just found out last week she's Peter's daughter. So will they reconnect? What's going to happen? Is it Scott she's going to go find, and that's going to help her turn into a were-coyote? Or is it Peter that's going to help her? I mean, I guess she left because it looks like Stiles obviously left.
Wait, Stiles left?
It seemed that way in the episode.
Huh.
So that seemed to me why she was leaving.
I couldn't really tell why she left, and it was like the way she left and like how her eyes changed
the innocent blue that she had killed an innocent.
So I just like I had no idea. That was like a open-ended cliffhanger for me.
Okay, so I don't think she knows that Peter's her father yet. So what's that? So what's that interaction going to be?
She wouldn't have any reason to know anything about him.
Right, and he doesn't know that she's his daughter. So this is gonna be really interesting. I'm hoping that they reconnect next week.
And how is he going to react when he finds out Stiles took away his daughter's virginity?
Peter will just be like, Stiles. He'll be shocked.
Have they been on screen together very much,
Stiles
Peter and
Peter?
Stiles?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Not
in the entire show, honestly.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare those two share screen time. Ian and Dylan.
Oh, I'd like to see that interaction. Come on, Jeff. The fans want it.
Well, I mean, like, they did say that the Nogitsune needs, like, a new body, right?
A new host.
A new host. And we all know Peter's gunning for the power. And I don't know. I think there's, like, a lot of little hints here and there. Gabe is nodding his head, so I'm going to take that as a good sign.
Definitely.
No spoilers. Spoiler alert.
We'll talk about more of that in a little bit. But Scott and the gang are trying to figure out how to help Stiles. And the lichen that Deaton injected into Stiles was going to wear off, and sort of whenever that lightning mark went away, Miss Morell happened to be at the psych ward too, and told him she was going to inject him with the lethal injection, the same chemical basically when the Nogitsune took back over. So, I mean, that was, I understand her. We had her on a couple weeks ago, Bianca Lawson. She's amazing.
Yeah, she was awesome.
But she said something when she was on about she doesn't know how much she's really helping the kids here. And it's not really about the kids being a druid. It's more so about like maintaining the balance, which we saw her doing here. Is I'm going to do whatever it takes to maintain the balance. So I'm not sure if there's ever going to be a crossover with her character saying, being less of a druid and actually looking out for the kids. But thus far, it seems like she is pretty much just looking out for nature and maintaining the balance.
I'd like to see a spin-off show of her and her brother and their adventures.
Yeah, because they go away very often.
They just like do-do-do, and it can be like a
super
sitcom.
old too, right?
Are they?
Don't they like live longer or no?
Sure.
I think so. Didn't they say that they were much older?
It seems that way, because they're very wise and they've been around for a while.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it could be very possible in
Deaton
Druid
was the
world.
emissary for Talia, so So that was a while ago.
And he still looks very young. So does Miss Morell.
So the gang realizes that they need to fight off Kincaid to get this scroll that's in the silver finger. And I was really shocked, even Kincaid said, to Scott, you're an alpha, And where's the strength? And then the twins show up. And that's something I was really wondering too, because I don't like seeing, obviously, Scott, who's supposed to be this alpha, who we've seen him turn into this alpha, and we've his struggles with him over all these seasons. You know, he's finally the alpha. I want to see him be strong. Like, what were your thoughts on that, June? Why do you think, you know, he's still not this most powerful figure, that he's not living up to his name?
Well, I mean, like, he is very preoccupied with Stiles, I think. And, like, his mind is not, you know, exactly like in one piece. I think he's really fragmented. There's a lot of things going on. Like, his heart is being torn, like all these different directions, and like he's still growing. And I think that's why we need his relationship with Derek too.
Can you guys comment at all? I know you know.
I guess his pack's a little split up at the moment as well.
That's a good
Derek's
point.
in the jail. You know, who knows where Isaac was that one? He wasn't around.
Is he still in the coma? I guess.
Oh, yeah.
He's still
Where's
healing. I mean, we didn't get to see him this episode, but when we left him
Yeah.
last, I believe he was still healing from the electric shock that we saw him.
Yeah, his puppies were kind of all over the place, so maybe that's had a little something to do with.
So you think his strength is his pack, and not so much just
I believe
himself.
that's something to do with it. That is a recurring theme. Yeah, you know, the more
I completely agree.
more in your pack, the stronger the alpha becomes.
Maybe you just have to learn how to be an alpha.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of all those things.
Yeah, I think it's a
you know?
combination.
And he's still growing into his
Yeah,
role.
maybe he's just got to hit the gym a little bit more often. Or something.
Well, there's that.
Stop eating the junk
Stop
food.
eating the pizza on
Exactly.
set.
Yep, you know.
I heard
Tyler.
I heard Tyler works out the least out of everyone. He eats pizza.
That's what they say. Yeah, he's very lucky for that.
Good genetics.
yeah.
We'll see how long that lasts into his manhood as an alpha. Maybe the alpha can eat whatever he wants. I don't know.
Oh, that's his true power.
That's his true power. Eat as much pizza as you want. I want to be
Bite
the
me,
alpha
please.
now. Yeah, bite me, exactly. So, you know, they did find out, Deaton reads the scroll, and it does say one way to expel the Nogitsune is to change the body of the host. And as we were mentioning earlier, does this mean, you know, they're going to give Stiles the bite? Peter, we had Ian Bowen on last week, and he was saying, you know, Peter really respected when, I guess it was season 1, Stiles didn't want the bite. But at this point, it's like a life or death. I think that Stiles' friends would, you know, influence him to become a werewolf. But can you guys see Stiles as a werewolf? Do we want that as an audience?
I think the character of Stiles would not become a werewolf. He needs to be the
human,
dorky, quirky, jokey kind of kid. He's the comic relief. So
Yeah. What was the line about him? Like, he's a pile of fragile bones. Sarcasm is his only defense.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like sarcasm and claws. That's a lot of defense.
Yeah.
he's sort of the one who's central to all of it, who's not supernatural
that's
as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't really want him to become a werewolf, but it's life or death. And I think that's the great part about this show, is that the audience also doesn't want Stiles to have the bite. So hopefully there's another way.
It's also Teen Wolf, though.
This just happens.
There are a lot of teens and there are a lot of wolves.
What's going to happen. Yeah.
There are a lot of teens becoming wolves every day. We don't know. So Kira showed off her skills in the episode with, you know, that sword, and we've seen her other skills before with absorbing the electricity. I mean, we still don't know exactly what she's capable, but I'm not sure she does either. What do you guys think of her character so far? I mean, have you guys got to work with her on set, or have you run out from the edit bay and talked to her? What's she like on set? And
I've worked with Arden quite a bit, a couple different scenes and episodes. I think her character does not know what's really going on. I think she's figuring it out with all the rest of us, more or less. She's like, oh, wow, look at that. I can take all this electricity. I didn't realize I could do that. But she's great to work with. We taught her some stuff with the sword, obviously. And
can you talk about that a little bit? Like, for the people at home who don't know, like, how the stunt process works.
Well, we've got a stunt, probably several stunt doubles for her that are very good with swords and flippy stuff, and fighting and general martial arts. And we'll shoot in this show or others. We'll shoot big long fight sequences, and usually the stunt doubles will do most of it, especially for the wides. Maybe we'll shoot 30 seconds a minute long fights, and then we'll plug in the actress in various points throughout the fight. and we'll teach them 4, 5, 6 moves that they can do. You know, they're not going to learn the whole 30-move fight, but we'll pick little spots where we can teach them and make it look convincing, and then we'll plug the actress in, and of course they'll shoot her face and make it look like the fight has as much of her in it as possible. And Arden picked it up really fast. She was really good with the sword and with the choreography and getting the fight beats, and she was great. She's one of the best I've ever seen.
Wow.
Did you
Literally,
get any
we could teach her, and 10
off-screen
minutes
training?
later, and she was on top of it. She would remember where to go every time and do the sword this way, that way, this way, this way, and no, she was great.
She's really good at the sword poses.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she had any sort of training, formal sword or martial arts training to say before the scenes we shot. We would literally just say, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. This guy's coming from here, this guy's coming from here. And, oh, she was amazing.
How important
so
is
quickly.
it that the stuntmen look like the actor and actress?
Oh, I reckon it's a good question for him too, but yeah, the closer the better. Physical size is the most important part. The stunt double would have to be the same height and build as the actor. Of course, they'll give us fake ears and a werewolf face and the haircut to match. Looking dead on in the face is probably not as important, because if the camera's looking dead on in my face in a scene, you're going to see that I'm not whoever the actor is.
Who do you normally fill in for?
I've done a lot of work this season 3 for Isaac, for Daniel Sharman, as well as JR, and I've doubled Ian quite a bit, Ian Bowen, who is Peter Hale from the first and second seasons.
Have you gotten hurt at all?
On this
It's like one of the most dangerous
No, I
stunts
haven't
you've had
really
to
got
do.
hurt on this show. I did bash my head pretty hard in season 2 for the ice rink fight, if you guys remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I was doubling Daniel, Isaac at the time, and there's a scene where one of the other doubles sort of picks me up and slams me down the ice, and after I think it was the 12th or 13th take, my head just went back and smashed the ice full blast.
Oh my God,
yeah,
ice
that hurt
hurts.
That hurt.
Yeah,
it was.
Ice
Apparently,
is very hard.
It's harder than concrete.
Yeah, it is.
Which I can now say I do believe that is true. I rang my bell pretty good, and that was about a 17-and-a-half-hour day, so I was tired. We'd been fighting all day long, and after a while, the neck muscles just gave up, But fortunately, no serious damage, as far as I'm aware.
I feel like Isaac gets the most punishment on the show. So is that really you getting all that punishment?
It is me 98% of the time getting all the punishment for Isaac, yeah.
Let's give it up for our stuntman.
Yeah.
Teamwork would not be the same.
No, it wouldn't.
No, we have a lot of stunt people, and we definitely do a lot of work on this show. It's great though. It's fun. Supernatural shows are good. As a werewolf, you're always fighting somebody or flying around or jumping over something. It's pretty fun.
How does working on a supernatural show differ from regular shows that don't have the supernatural elements?
One aspect of it, which is a bit on the negative side, is we're pretty much always shooting the action stuff at nighttime. Someone like myself who does not sleep in the day, it's very difficult to catch up on sleep when you're shooting 15 hours from dusk to dawn, and then I go home and I can't sleep for more than an hour or two. So you do that a couple days in a week and you're pretty wrecked. Piece together an entire season and you're probably taking years off your life. But it's just tough. The hours is the hardest part because you're awake all night long. You're going home from working at 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
And then you just can't sleep during the daytime?
Me personally, I'm not. No, once the lights up, I'm just up. Even if you black out the whole room, I'm still just still kind of awake. I can normally sleep to about midday, so I'll get in 2, 3, 4 hours and I'm awake. So.
Wow. So your circadian rhythm is set.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not too adaptable to that. But on the other side of it, like I said, supernatural stuff, it's fairly fun because you do get to wear a lot of prosthetic makeup. If you don't mind, hours and hours in the chair.
Just sitting in the chair.
And I've sat on this show. I've sat in the makeup chair for 5 hours before we shot, and then 3 hours to get it off before once. And
3 hours to get it off because they have to reuse it.
They do reuse a lot of it actually. So they take it off quite carefully.
Yeah.
All the hair pieces that come down here and the ears and the fangs. They reuse all of it.
I can really see that. I can see
the bridge stuff across the forehead. They reuse it all. So they take it off very carefully, clean it all, and they use it again another time.
What are you doing?
What was that for 5 hours? What?
Season 1, it was the sequence where Peter Hale Ian Bohen was burned. It was a bit of a montage sequence where the house was on fire and he was in the fire and he was burned.
And you were in the fire being burned.
Oh my gosh.
So
what were you doing all that time in the chair?
I was asleep for half of it.
Okay, so you were able to fall asleep because it was night.
I just put my head back in the headrest and just take a nice long 2-3 hour nap. While they're sticking things all over my face and my body. At one point, though, I had to wake up because I had to hold my arm up for about an hour plus.
Wow.
Where they were putting all sorts of makeup underneath and painting me.
That's really difficult, too, to hold
It's very
your arm
difficult.
up that long.
It sounds easy, but hold your arm up for more than a minute and see how hard it gets.
It would get tired really fast, really quick.
But, we get to do a lot of makeup, and we get to work on wires, and like I said, we'll be jumping from building to building, or jumping out a window or flipping out of a tree. There's a lot of action. You're jumping across moving cars. There's supernatural movies, there's always the element of things that normal human beings can't do.
So your jobs are very similar.
I just think you and I have like the complete opposite jobs in the entertainment industry.
There are some similarities.
Do you guys want to switch for a day? Like, Gabe,
No, thank you.
You'll be the stuntman.
Yeah,
there are some days when I'll absolutely switch with him. Absolutely.
Well, I just want to thank you guys at home for downloading, rating, and subscribing. I'm going to read a few of your comments right now. We have Florian Radu saying, I think that Allison is the real Nogitsune because she acts strange in past episodes. And the next one, Stiles says, we are tricksters, so it sounds like there's more than one. And you know what? There was a few episodes ago when, like, Allison's phone was off, and she's like, where's Allison?
Totally.
And she's like, I don't remember my phone being off. And then Coach was hit by a bow and arrow.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
I mean, they might...
I totally second that.
Good point.
I'm sorry?
Just the arrow she was hit with. Yeah, so who knows? Allison she has been a little off this season, and we haven't really seen the effects of that ice bath and how it affected her other than seeing, her aunt, Kate Argent. So could be. That's a good one, a good theory. And we have Johan Puena, this darker Stiles, will it affect the relationship between Stiles and Lydia down the road? What do you guys think about that? I mean, obviously, I feel like especially in the trailer we're going to talk about in a minute that you edited for the mid-season, it looks like, he's kind of following Lydia down this dark hallway.
They might bring them closer together.
You think?
Now they're both a little bit off,
That's a good point.
Everybody on the show has got a little something about them that's unusual, and Stiles was the only one who didn't really, besides Allison, have a supernatural type power.
That's a good point.
And now they do.
Yeah.
So it's either going to pull them together or she's going to run.
There's got to be a lot of forgiveness in Beacon Hills. This is a town where people switch sides all the time.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. That's a strange, odd, peculiar town.
Yeah.
Even the twins now. The twins are, they're completely mates with Scott and with Isaac, and
I feel like
they
they're
were trying to kill each
orphans.
other, and now they're all mates. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's what life's about, and Teen
Or
Wolf is like
twins.
totally metaphorical for life.
Yeah.
We're always switching sides. But like my prediction, I guess like my prediction
Yeah, you
for
go ahead.
Stiles, like I just had this feeling like his mother might have committed suicide. And I feel like the whole like Stiles being there and the suicide immediately happening, Gabe was like looking at me like,
Huh? I'm not looking at you in any particular way.
Poker faces. We're reading your faces for spoilers.
And Stiles his character is so noble in a way, in that he could possibly like just give himself up.
Well, he kind of did by committing himself to the institution.
Exactly.
So that was the first step, saying, make sure I don't get out. To
Yeah,
Scott.
that was surprising.
So, Levatic Wolfie on YouTube wants to know who from the main cast you guys think is going to die soon. I know these names. They're very difficult to pronounce. So I know they can't say, but
Don't ask me.
June, who do you
it's
think?
gonna be Stiles.
You think Stiles is going to die?
I know it's so sad, but I think so.
I definitely
for like a lot of different reasons. I mean, like aside from Teen Wolf, like he's such an amazing actor, and like I know that their contracts, might be expiring, and like I'm sure, like I've heard that he has like other things going probably. So I just think like it's the one that makes sense to me, and I think he might like just give himself up. Just kill himself with maybe a samurai sword.
He's stealing Kira's. She's got the whole thing figured out.
I don't know. I'm just purely speculating.
You know, I think maybe the twins might take the bullet because it seems like they've been stepping in a lot for Scott, and so you know maybe they'll be gone. But let's talk about predictions right now. We'll roll into predictions before we ask you guys a few more questions. And we'll talk about the mid-season trailer that you edited, Gabe. So
awesome.
I watched that and I was just like, oh, wow. Oh my God, there's so much going on here. So it looks like Stiles is dying and chaos is coming and the spirit of the guy we saw in the basement has taken over his body. And Derek's putting gasoline on Argent and saying, you burn my family, I'm going to burn yours. And Derek got shot at one point, so it could be Derek that's leaving the show.
Oh, my gosh.
And Allison's whispering to Scott, it's okay, don't worry. And then a hero will fall is across the screen. Like, this is epic. Can you talk about editing that a little bit?
Without revealing more than is revealed in the trailer.
A scene you can talk about. Yeah,
honestly,
what's just
it sounds
in the
like
trailer.
anyone could go.
It does.
Yeah.
Which is television.
That's. I know it was a fun trailer to edit. It's based on the last 4 episodes. So yeah, I mean that was really. God, I have to tread carefully with the words.
Yeah.
I know it's fun making the trailers because you have to be so careful what you reveal. I did the trailer for the same one for season 3A, which so the second half with the Duroc, and the big question was who is the Duroc,
Right.
and I used a bit of someone's hands on Lydia's neck or something like that, and you could kind of see the sleeve a little bit. And then someone saw the sleeve in another, like a big wide shot on Jennifer, and we're like, Jennifer's the Duroc. Just from that one that I didn't, I was like, no.
So did the fans get it?
Yeah,
did they saw it?
No, that was because like we'll kind of see after a trailer comes out, like what people will see, like what people's reactions are. And
but Jeff approves these before they go out, so it's not really your fault,
that's the thing,
right?
is they get so much more attention in the fandom than we, we really try to, and because my eyes are closest to it, so I really try to be careful, and I hate spoilers and
me too.
Yeah,
I don't even watch.
Always,
I try not to watch trailers for like films or anything like that.
I don't watch next-ons for shows or anything. So I'm always really trying to keep it on the lowdown. But that one little mistake.
Oh my God.
So I'm trying to remember. I think we did a good job with this one. Not
this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't catch it before.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, you have to really like.
Yeah, piece it together. But the fans are so amazing for this show that they do that. They literally pause every frame and look for clues.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. We're all in love with this show. So I just want to, before we head out, I want to ask you guys a few questions. Little interview, if you don't mind. We really appreciate you guys coming in. The fans appreciate it. So, Gabe, what from your childhood sort of influenced you into becoming an editor, do you think?
I started when I was like 11 or 12.
Wow.
I worked all summer as a busboy when I was 12, which I don't know how legal that is.
I was going to say, is this in Mexico?
It's not legal. It's not legal, but maybe I might have been 13. And then I saved up all that money and I bought a video camera. And at the time, these were these, big VHS monsters. And I made lots of, stupid little videos. So I started real young.
Wow.
And that's, for me, editing has always been what I'm most interested in film. I'm a filmmaker too. I direct and write. But
can you talk a little bit about? I know you worked on Lone Survivor, which is on in theaters right now, and then you also directed and wrote a project that's coming out.
Yeah, I'm working on finishing up I'm calling it an indie series. It's 6 half-hour episodes of. It's called Donovan and the Vast Ancient Conspiracy.
Ooh.
It's like an extremely low-budget Indiana Jones. And
Who doesn't love Indiana Jones?
I know, right?
We need more of that nowadays.
Absolutely.
We do.
We really do.
And we shot it all over. We shot in Southeast Asia and China
That's
and
awesome.
Tibet and India and Egypt.
Do you guys have a Twitter for this? When is it coming? Where can we find it? Is there a website?
You can go to vastancientconspiracy.com.
Okay. I'm going to write it down.
Vastancientconspiracy.com.
Right. Or my website, which is gabrielfleming.com.
Okay.
That's with one M.
Got it. Are you guys going to be showing it? Where can we watch it?
Teen Wolf has been getting in the way of finishing this
Really?
for a long, long time.
Your 7 weeks per episode is getting in the way?
It takes a while,
days, you know.
There's no one else. It's me. It was me and an actor. Like that's all.
Wow.
All of us. And so it's it's a very low budget. I'll probably be doing a Kickstarter pretty soon.
Awesome!
For
Fantastic.
post-production funds and yeah.
Well,
and if you want to see something else, I have my feature film is on iTunes and Hulu right now. It's called The Lost Coast.
The Lost Coast, I'm going to write it down.
It's a very, very busy man, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have a social life?
No, unfortunately.
Who needs one when you're
Wolf.
working with awesome people like the people on Teen Wolf, right?
That's a good point. And then, Chris, were you very rambunctious as a child? Do you think that, kind of, were you jumping off buildings at the age of 4 or making your parents mad?
Probably the age of 7. I don't know about 4. I would just say I always said, me and my mates, when we grew up in Australia, we always said we were going to be stuntmen when we grew up because we were just a bit crazy and rambunctious. And now they all say, well, you actually did it. And I was like, I don't know how it happened, but...
how did it happen?
It wasn't necessarily conscious. It was just, I was just a typical, I think, little boy growing up, wanting to jump my bicycle over everything I could find and, jump into the river, jump off the roof of a house, and just whatever little crazy boys get up to,
So you never wanted to grow up?
Well, I hope I never do grow up. I'm still trying to avoid it as much as possible.
So, can you talk about maybe a set story or, other projects that you've worked on in the past? I know you can't always talk about what you're working on that's coming out.
I can't always talk about it. There's a few episodes of Walking Dead coming up that I've worked on, so definitely can't talk about that.
That's exciting.
I worked on Godzilla in Hawaii pretty recently, again under wraps.
Excited for that
It's
film.
been some it should be good. What was the question again?
You answered most of them, and then maybe just talk about one of your best set experiences on Teen Wolf. Working with the cast and subbing in for them, or a time you got hurt.
Teen Wolf is absolutely my favorite show to work on. I've worked on it more than anything else. I've worked 40 episodes over 3 seasons.
Wow.
The best experience I had on this show, and I have wrapped several other shows, as in filmed all the way up till the last shot. That's it, done. Picture wrap. We picture wrapped season 1 of Teen Wolf in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had worked, 15, 16 hours on this day. Crystal was on set. Jill was there. Ian was there. I was doubling Ian. Scott was there. Well, not Scott. Tyler Posey, I should say. Tyler Eklund. It was a huge fight at the end in the Hale house. And we just went till the very end. And it's just awesome to be there at the very last minute of filming of an entire season. And all of a sudden, 200 people just erupted in cheers. The champagne came out. And it was just, that's the funnest experience I've had yet. It was really amazing to be there at the very beginning and then at the very end.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just, everybody was in tears. There was crying going on everywhere. It was pretty amazing.
Aw, that sounds like such a great experience.
Lots of hugging.
Wow.
It's just incredible. The entire crew, the cast, the stunt department, everybody. And we'd worked such a long, long time. And we hadn't even seen the show at that point. Because it hadn't even aired, so.
Yeah,
or
15,
even started
16-hour days.
Yeah,
and doing stunts.
And
so you don't even need to work
3
out.
days. We'd done 3 days at 15 hours a day-ish.
Wow.
For this massive end fight at the end there where Peter killed Kate Argent. And then that whole werewolf beatdown ensued. It was great though. It was a really fun time. It was just really good to be there and wrap it and be there for the very last second of it.
No, I can imagine. I was tasting champagne a moment ago, and the imagery I was getting.
Yeah, it was, it was like New Year's Eve or something.
No, that's what I was picturing.
In the Teen Wolf
a New Year's
soundstage
Eve.
in Georgia, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming in and breaking down the episode with us. It's been so great having you, Gabe, and you, Chris. Where can the fans follow you guys or check out your websites and see what you're working on? Gabe, what's your Twitter and your
my
website.
Twitter is Gabriel G. Fleming. Twitter, whatever it is. I don't
Follow
know.
Gabe.
Yeah. Or www.gabrielfleming.com.
Perfect. And June, where can we follow you?
Miss June Lee, Miss _ that's MS, and June Lee, Junelee.
And Chris, where can we catch up with you?
Can't catch up with me anywhere. I live in the real world. I don't play
He's
too
jumping
much
on
the cyber.
buildings.
Yeah, it's like
So if you see someone that looks like Spider-Man just swinging around, it's probably Chris.
Yep.
You guys can tweet me any questions or follow-up that you want to for Chris, and of course tweet at Gabe. Thank you guys for joining us once again, and come back next week and see who our next special guest is.
Yay.
And can't wait. Thank you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.
this is
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
How long does this last?
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.